Hey you guys, it's Garrett DMG here back with another video. And you know, it's crazy how we're in the end times today, and we're technically in the great falling away, as it were. The great falling away of humanity. And it kinda, I don't know, like the birth pangs, we're feeling them. You know what I mean? We're all feeling the birth pangs. If you guys know what I'm talking about, then you know. You know what I mean? And it's like, it feels like you're playing Tetris when the stack is almost towards the highest point, and you're trying to fit the blocks in the right spots. Boop, 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 boop. And all of a sudden it just stacks all the way up, and then the game's over. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it kind of feels like in society today. You're trying to sit there and stack the blocks up, right? But you're all the way up towards the end. You're up towards the highest point. You know what I mean? And time's running out, and you're just like, you're trying to put the pieces in the right spot, and it's like, it stacks so high that it just fucking, it all goes. I mean, that's what it kind of feels like in today's day and age, like living through the birth pangs. You're kind of trying to put the pieces in the right spots, but, man, are we coming up late here? Like, we're coming close. Closer than we think. You know what I mean? So make sure when you're putting the pieces where they need to be that they actually fit. You know what I mean? So this way you can make room for yourself. You know what I mean? It's kind of a terrible analogy to put towards the end times, but it kind of feels like a game of Tetris in a way. You know what I mean? Like you're sitting there, you're trying to stack everything, you know? And this is the world. You know, the world as a whole, it's stacking up, and eventually it's all just going to come down. So yeah, just make sure the blocks fit where they're supposed to. That's pretty much like what my messaging is in this video overall, because during the birth pangs it could be tough to try to get yourself into spiritual alignment. I mean, especially when you lived a life with a lot of sin. I definitely did. So far in my life, I lived with a lot of sin in my life. Confided in the wrong people. Did the wrong things. Like me, I'm not a saint. I got a bad past. You know, I definitely didn't make the right decisions. And even then, like, I pray to God and I tell him, like, you know, I don't bear much fruit. You know what I mean? I'm not a fruit-bearing tree. I'm a tree that's been cut down. I'm a tree with a stump that needs water. Maybe I can grow a couple weeds or something, but I'm definitely no tree of fruit. You know what I mean? And like that's pretty much like my whole point about this video is during the birth pangs, during the end times, you want to make sure that you align yourself with the best spirit and to be as holy as you can. You know what I mean? Because in times like this, you really want to conform to the Christ. And like a sacrifice and everything like that. And you gotta. You know what I mean? I mean, because there still is an existence of a lukewarm Christian. You know what I mean? Somebody who follows halfway through. Half-assed, as it were. You know what I mean? And I can say that because the term ass is in the Bible. So I can say it. Half-assed, as it were. You know what I mean? Don't be half-assed. You know what I mean? Go in full-on force here. When you're committing to the Christ, you gotta commit, man. Like, you gotta go in deep. That means stopping past addictions, past relationships that failed, finite ideologies, finite situations. Make it finite, alright? Kill that version of which that never got you ahead before, eternally speaking. You know what I mean? So it's like when you crucify that, you start to feel a sense of great falling away. I guess I'll use the term in a mirrored sense. You have a great falling away within yourself, as it were. You know, the self of old. You know what I mean? How you used to make mistakes, how you used to view the world. Get rid of it, right? Kill it. Crucify it. Like Christ did for us, in a way, you know what I mean? And that there speaks volumes if you follow through. Right? And that's the ideology there. You know, the ideology of Christ living through pure integrity. You know, pure trajectory towards the eternal. That's the goal here. You know what I mean? That's what you want. Because life can feel a lot like that Tetris stacking up on you, you know? And the world can feel that way too. With the wars, rumors of wars. The famine, the pestilence, the great falling away. The real one. Of the church. You know, that's something that you can't take lightly in life, you know what I mean? So you gotta prevail yourself forward. Crucify yourself. Right? As it were. I don't know, that's kind of like my little spin on what's gotten me ahead in the time of the birth pangs. Because, man, the birth pangs, they're fucking, oh, excuse my language, but they're hitting. They're hitting. The birth pangs are panging, baby. And that's what I'm saying, man, they're not going to stop. They're not. They're going to keep on knocking. You know what I mean? And you can feel them. You can literally feel the birth pangs. I do. I don't know about anybody else, but I feel them. I feel them wholeheartedly. And that's the thing about me. Is that even though I lived like a sinful life, I could say, I've always felt close with spirituality, even though I felt further away from it, if that makes sense. But it's like, I don't know, I've always felt deeply. You know what I mean? I've always had deep feelings. And little did I know that was the Holy Spirit within me, being so reactive to the environment I was in. Or environments, plural, that I've been put in my past. And I think that's what mostly got me out of a lot of troubled times, I can say. It's what's worked for me. And honestly, if I had any kids, I won't have any kids in this future because the world's going to come to an end. But if I had any kids, that's what I would tell them. What got me through. You know what I mean? Is I felt this sort of sense of liberation while surrendering to the Christ, I guess you could say. I don't know. Like life for me, I know life for a lot of people isn't easy, but speaking for me, like life was always this Rubik's Cube for me. You know what I mean? And it's never really fit into the right spots, per se. But like I said, after coming into one with the Holy Spirit, it's just, I don't know. It's purification. You know what I mean? Like in the book it says, it's that of refined silver. Right? So much so, like look at my glasses. You can see the reflection of the light. You know, of Christ. You know, so that speaks for itself. To be refined is to mirror. Right? So that's the overall goal here. You know what I mean? It's not that the mirror half reflects. It's that it fully reflects. And that's the goal here. That's what you want as far as soul positioning for yourself. To get right with the Christ. Because the times are ending, you guys. You really want me to bullshit you? I mean, I bullshit you not. I mean, the birth pangs are hidden, man. They are hitting. If those of you that know, you know. You probably know better than me. The birth pangs are panging, man. They really are. And you've really got to get with the times today because, man, the world's going to leave you behind if you don't. So that's pretty much my video, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do you think I'm just some crazy madman? Like I'm trying to build the ark? Or do you think, wow, yeah, Garrett, the days are like the days of Noah, and you can feel the birth pangs. They're hitting. But let me know. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Peace and love.